right, everybody wants to know what is next for Boots. It's interesting. What is next for Boots? Bruce, what's your opinion? In my opinion, what needs to be next for Boots strictly depends on his ambition. Okay? One thing that I have noticed about Jaron and Eddie, every time they ask what's next, or who's next do you want to fight, or is there anybody that you want to call out, both Jaron and Eddie is reluctant to. Have you noticed that? They refuse to mention any names. And I kind of think that's a good thing in a way, because it shows that they're learning their lesson. Okay? Do not put your foot in your mouth. Jaron got all that backlash and he got all that criticism because the way they talked about Jaron. All right? And who they talked about in the process that they were better than. This is why both Jaron and Eddie is reluctant to say anything about what's next. Go ahead. If you can catch a video with them saying who they want to fight next or what's next to come, you let me know. Send it straight to me, because it don't exist. All right. So at least they're learning not to put their foot in their mouth. Now, as far as Jaron and what's next, honestly, once again, my opinion, not yours. My opinion, not mainstream. My opinion, not yours. In my opinion, Jaron, if he's serious about what he's doing, given that he has 33 fights or some shit like that, I would say he needs to move up immediately and try to capitalize and try to get some of these big fights. Because honestly, undisputed is good, but the way he's going to achieve undisputed is going to be hollow. What you got? Barrios, Brian Norman, and Barrios ain't got to fight you, because we know how boxing works in trying to preserve Latin fighters. They make way to avoid the American fighters. If you haven't noticed that about boxing yet. So he could dance around you all day. Virgil Ortiz can dance around him all day. This is the problem with not having even criticism. People get to slide in between the cracks and hide behind the doors. Okay? So knowing that that's going to happen to you, and they might get on Brian, but let's face it, Virgil already did what he did, so he don't have to fight you. Brian Norman, well, Eddie's already talking about money because he's come out a lot of money signing Jaron. So I don't want that to be an excuse for a reason to keep fighting the Kukashans of the world. Oh, quick little side note. Is his name not Karen Kukashan? Because I'm hearing they saying something else. So have we been pronouncing it wrong this entire time? Let me know. Comment section. But it'll give him reason to keep fighting those kind of fights. And then we'll go right back to, I've been calling out these guys and they don't want to fight. We don't want that no more. We don't want to hear that no more. So if that's what they're doing to you in 147, respectfully move up. Okay? Because that's where all the respect is actually going to come from. You can't talk about pound for pound for beating Stanionis. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can get in there and tussle with Virgil Ortiz, but how long is it going to take you to get a Virgil Ortiz fight? He got a many things going on, and you going to mess up what they got going on. They ain't got to go your route. Brian Norman, y'all don't want to pay him. So are we going to go back to this, or are we going to move up to something bigger and greater? And that's what I think that he should do. However, I know that that's what he's not going to do, because Jaron's been trained wrong. And I know people talk about a Terrence Crawford fight. When are you guys going to realize that Jaron is too far behind to catch up to a Crawford fight? Do you not realize that? He's too far behind. He's 30-something fights, and we're supposed to be oversatisfied with him beating Stanionis, which is still nowhere near the caliber or the level of opponents that he's supposed to be fighting right now, given the super talent that people talk about. So to me, his next best move is to move up, but he ain't gonna do it. So actually, they're gonna ride off this Stanionis win, and they might go back to doing what got him at 30-something fights and no real names. Hey, you can't get no more realer than that. You know? And the next thing that people need to talk about is you need to talk about a fight that he can have that'll erase any question. We need to get him in a fight where you think he could lose. You need to get him in a fight where he's equally yoked. Then the respect's gonna come. I don't see that at 147. Do you? Let me know. But it's gonna come at 154. But Jaron defense ain't good enough to go to 154. And like I said in my last videos, in case you haven't noticed, but you should know now, Jaron and his team avoid punchers. So that's also going to determine how they navigate. So with that much going on, all that's left that he really could do is end up collecting them belts at 147. And I ain't saying that Undisputed is not good. What I'm saying is that it's a vacant situation. All those guys got vacant belts. None of them guys took a champion. None of them guys took that belt off a champion. Okay, the first one that they can say that they're starting to do it actually is Jaron. But all these guys are vacant champions. You know, nobody's holding a belt that has been reigning or dominant. So it's a soft road to Undisputed. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say that about Undisputed, but that's what it is. And if he's about big names, the big names ain't at 147. You know? And Jaron's too big. He's just too big. You know, I would love to give him all the credit in the world, but at the end of the day, people are still looking at his size. You know, and I'm tired of these guys wanting weight advantages. I'm sick of it in boxing. You know, but I say that that's his next best thing to do, but he's not going to do it. But if you're going to stay at 147, don't keep giving us, you're going to have to come up off the money. I'm going to put it like this, and this is what I'm going to end it with. If you stay at 147, Eddie Hearn can't bitch about paying money. That's the deal. Now, you can't bitch about paying money and stay at 147 because your situation at 147 caused money to grease it. Okay? Eddie Hearn understood this clearly with Anthony Joshua. You know, so if you're going to stay at 147, Eddie, you're going to have to come up with some money. Okay? It ain't our fault you guaranteed him $3.2 million every fight. That's not our fault. Get him in there with some real fighters so you can make your money back. But is he talented enough to do that? But if you're going to stay at 147, you can't be talking about what they're asking because they know their worth and they want you to pay it. Last time I checked, these guys don't fight for free. And this will be probably the biggest opportunity for Brian Norman as far as money goes. So as long as he holding that belt, he ain't got to sweat you as long as you guys want Undisputed. He can sit right there and just nest that belt. You got to come to him. So that's the thing. If you're going to stay at 147, come up off them dollars, man. If you want to come up off them dollars, go to 154. So it's a lot of choices there and choices that can be made, but choices that can't be made because the talent can't take them there. So that's what I got next for Jaron. You know, but nonetheless, at least he shook the email champ and stuff like that. So let's judge him for right here. Let's judge him from right here for right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see him do good and I want him to do good. But let's judge him from right here, even though I don't need it anymore. I don't need it anymore. I know exactly what Jaron is. Now, the Jaron fanatics, you're going to have to spend your time proving to us and me that he really is what you say that he is. Because as of what I see right now, for what I know about boxing, I know I'm not mistaken. Not at all. You don't get a record like that with no name being a super talented guy. That's not how it works. So we gonna see. Make your suggestions in the comment section. Tell me what you think you want him to do next. And most importantly, tell me who you think he should fight next? And on top of that, tell me a fight that he could have that'll put him on a Crawfordish type level. Who can we put him in there with where we can't say he's too big for him, this guy has a long layoff, or this guy's nowhere near on his level? We need to get a guy that he's equally yoked with, have just as much athleticism and power as he does, and that somebody that he's not, 3 sizes bigger than. You get him in a situation like that, then you could knock all the bugs and all the dirt that be on Jaron's shoulders, because he's only a victim of getting something before he has earned it. That's the whole problem here. The whole issue is saying he's this before he has proved it, and people mad because they want to see him prove it. That's when you got to understand, are you a fan of man or are you a fan of boxing? Because if you are a fan of boxing, you can never get mad at people wanting him to prove it. As a true boxing fan, you should be eager for him to do so. But nonetheless, he shut up the critics for now, so at least I ain't got nothing to say about him. Let's see what he do from here.